In her new best-selling poetry book, Women Without Shame, award-winning American novelist Sandra Cisneros explores the true meaning of rebirth, a culmination of poems dedicated to women, and a look into Sandra's experiences migrating from Mexico to Chicago. Best known for the coming-of-age novel, The House on Mango Street, Sandra provides a lens into the harsh reality of growing up as a Latina in Chicago. Sandra, welcome to the show. So good to have you here.
Welcome to you, to my world.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful world at that. It's been nearly 3 decades since you've published a poetry book. 3 decades. Why did you feel like this was the right time to share these particular never-before-seen or heard poems?
Well, I didn't decide to tell you the truth. I would still be writing them and throwing them under the bed if it wasn't for my editor and my agent, because I'm never finished. I'm always writing and throwing them under the bed and saying they need their beauty sleep. So I thank other people in my life.
Is this a good time for this particular collection of poems to get out there into the world, even though they may have been forced at times by your editor?
I think it's time for everybody to write poetry, and I hope these poems will inspire people to pick up their pen and do some heart cleaning. You know how you have to do house cleaning? We have to do heart cleaning. We're living in a time of a lot of sorrow because of the pandemic, a lot of polarities politically, a lot of frustration and depression and anger. That's all heart cleaning that needs to get done. If you're in some place where your emotions control you, you need to write poetry, because poetry is about transforming those demons before they demonize us.
I knew it wouldn't be long before you said something that I had to write down. Heart cleaning. I like that. I like that a lot. This collection was. You just made that up right now? That's really impressive, which means your poetry is also amazing. The collection was also translated into Spanish. Talk to us a little bit about the importance of eliminating the language barrier to connect with another layer of your heritage, providing this guide for Latinas.
I think it's important for everybody to learn another language, whether it's the language of your ancestors or not, because it helps you to see the world in another way. You know, when people translate or live between languages or have more than one language, you understand that the languages can't be translated like this. There are interstices between them where they don't intersect.
Beautifully said. Death is often a sensitive topic for a lot of people, but you're bringing it to the forefront in this new book. In your poem, Instructions for My Funeral, we want to write this, you get this down. You say, send no ashes north of the Rio Bravo on penalty of curse. I belong here under Mexican maguey beneath a carved mesquite bench that says ni modo. Spell my name with mezcal. Talk to us about the way you talk about death in a humorous way, when typically it's a conversation not only many people shy away from, many people are afraid to have.
Yeah, I think in the United States, people are afraid of death, but those of us who come from indigenous cultures like Mexico or from India or China or other countries that have a great tradition of connecting with the deceased, you know, you prepare your whole life for that crossing and you're not afraid of it. And I think in the United States, we can learn from the spiritual first world. And I think Mexico is part of that spiritual first world that has integrated life with death, who they celebrate it with Day of the Dead, and we walk alongside our dead daily. We send in a police and we send in guns, but we don't send in the heart workers. And that is what the artists are. They help us to transform our grief to light and understand the connection with the spirit world. So I think anytime there's a tragedy, we should be calling in, especially people from the spiritual first world.
Just lastly, before we let you go, and I could talk to you for an hour and a half about all this, but before we let you go, messages, what messages do you hope readers will take from this book? And it's a collection of poems, but what are the key messages?
Well, people don't know much about poetry, and they were not taught poetry well because their teachers didn't understand poetry. So I hope they understand that poetry is something we all need to do daily, just like we need to get up and have your cup of coffee to clear your head. You need to clear your heart. I hope that they will grab a pen and write poetry, not to publish it or share it, but just to learn about themselves and to make themselves better human beings, to be able to confront whatever sorrows or joys they are suffering, especially right now with our hearts broken open because of the pandemic.
Yeah, and so many other things that you mentioned, like Uvalde and El Paso. Sandra, so wonderful. Pleasure having you on the show today. Really do appreciate talking to you. Women Without Shame is out now wherever books are sold.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.